Y'all, 2026 has been a wild year for UFOs. From government disclosure to insane sightings from everyday people. It's absolutely wild. And what's crazier is that we still have 5 months in the year. And these UFOs you're going to see today are going to blow your mind. So watch till the end, sit back and relax and enjoy. We're jumping right into Sao Paulo, Brazil, July 17th, 2026. Where witnesses captured this strange light in the sky that kept appearing seemingly in a pattern. Now everyone came out to the window, and you can even hear a parent talking to the kids, hey, look through the telescope, we think we found a UFO, but remember, if it's flashing, it's a plane. And they do see some planes, but a light appears, this one right here, out of nowhere. And everyone in the family is saying that this light seemingly appears and disappears constantly. They've pulled it up in a telescope and they can't make too much of a figure of it. There's planes and helicopters and everything else, and they can see them going around. They can catch it through the telescope on their phones, but that thing just comes and goes with no explanation. Now the whole family is freaking out about this, rightfully so, and they're getting set up nightly with their telescope to try and capture this yet again with a clearer, better image and video. Over in Bryce Canyon National Park, Utah, July 25th, 2026, witnesses captured what they believe is a metallic sphere UFO. They saw this thing moving pretty quickly across the sky, and if you notice, as you look at the trees, there's not like a really strong gust of wind or crazy winds for this to be, say, like a balloon just drifting. It's moving fairly quickly. And as they zoom in, you can actually see that it does look very much like the metallic sphere UFOs that we're used to seeing. Now, we've talked about objectives of these things before. Are the spheres surveillance? Because they seem to move quicker than most. They appear in so many different areas, and sometimes they sit still and appear to be watching. Over in Belomonte, Venezuela, July 23rd, 2026, witnesses captured what they think is an anomaly that was seemingly wrapped in what they call an oscillating energy field. And I find that very, very strange, but they said it did seem to be pulsing and warping, although you couldn't really see it on camera. However, as they zoom in, you will see that it does have an aura to it. I don't know if I see pulsing or oscillating. Maybe that was just something that they could only see with their eyes. But again, as we pull closer, and you can kind of even see it here starting in this frame, there is like a haze or an aura around it. They were calling it an energy field. I mean, granted, we don't know. Look how far away it is. But that is how they were describing it, like a pulsating or oscillating energy field. It looks fantastic. It does look very strange. Planes and helicopters don't have that weird misty aura around them. And launches are usually followed by like dispatch and fuel engines coming out, and you can see the separation. Doesn't look like any of that. And it does have a weird aura to it. Obviously, it wasn't a shooting star. It didn't like just disappear. What was that? Over in California, July 26, 2026, witnesses captured these strange orbs appearing in the sky, one right after the other. They said that by the time they started recording, the first orb was seemingly dimming away, while the new one was getting brighter. So I'm assuming that the one on the right is the newer orb. They said it wasn't like anything they've ever seen, and a little bit later in the video you'll see they actually capture a conventional commercial craft flying under it, and you can see its flickering lights like how airplanes and helicopters have, so you can tell the difference between our craft and whatever the heck this is in the sky. It wasn't a star. You don't see any other stars out, and stars don't act like this, and they're not sitting that close to each other normally. There you go. There's a traditional craft underneath it. The person recording said that was normal. They see helicopters and planes in their area all the time. The only thing that was anomalous were those two orbs. They had to go, but after about 10 minutes of driving, they looked back in the direction and didn't see anything there. Granted, they said it could have still been there. They may have moved too far or at a wrong angle, but they tried to look back and they didn't see anything. Next, we head over to Arizona, July 24th, 2026, where witnesses caught what they're calling a worm-like UFO in the sky. It was extremely bright, and with its brightness, you can see it is definitely like a weird slivery worm shape, and it does seem to be wobbling around. The witnesses said that after they first spotted it, they started noticing more helicopters flying around. I do believe we actually captured one of those in the video. Almost as if, look, there's one. Almost as if they were trying to see what this thing was in the sky, what's happening with this anomaly. They called into local authorities, didn't get answers. They said that there shouldn't be anything in the sky and didn't even comment on the helicopters, which is weird because even if the anomaly isn't supposed to be up there, we should know when helicopters and planes are in our sky, so why aren't you speaking about that at least? But you know how the authorities are. This is one of those mysteries that are going to be left for the citizens of the town, which is kind of cool because we get raw detail, raw evidence, but it does suck because regular people are limited in resources. Like, do your job, people. We head back to Bogota, Colombia, July 20th, 2026, where witnesses captured this strange, dark diamond shape in the sky. The witness said that they didn't notice when it appeared and could actually barely see it because the light in front of them was so bright. And then when they pulled out their phone and started zooming in, that's when they got it for in the best detail, even to their eyes. And they found it very strange. It's like they could kind of see it, of course, in the sky, but on the phone it comes out much clearer. And looking at this, it definitely looks like it's a diamond-shaped UFO. We've seen things, anomalies, whatever, in the sky of that exact same shape, except bright orange, if you guys remember, like the UFO in Serbia. But it was that exact same weird diamond-esque shape. The witness said that they were out for a while at night, and after, they kind of forgot about it, and after a while when looking up, it just wasn't there anymore. So what do you guys think that was? Over in Germany, July 25th, 2026, things get weirder. Now, you guys know I don't like when the UFOs drop things off. I don't know if this was dropping anything off, but it was doing something. It was actually that something, that weird blinking, that drew the attention of the observer. They wouldn't have noticed it if the flash didn't capture the corner of their eye. They immediately, of course, pulled out their device and started recording because what on earth is this? What I love about this clip is that they record for a while. I mean, even towards the end, he moves the camera around to show you the area, and he doesn't know what the hell this is. And I don't either. I mean, even trying to zoom in a little bit, I don't know what could be what's causing the flashing underneath. And if you pay close attention, you'll capture little sparkles or flashes also in the sky in its general vicinity. It's probably going to be better to, if you blow it up on a TV, highest definition possible, put up brightness, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. But up and to the left, there is more. There's another flashing. It's just much fainter and harder to see. I find this so fascinating. Because what is it? What is that flashing doing? Is it communicating with us? Or is this anomaly doing something, actively doing something, and the flash is a byproduct of whatever it happens to be doing? I don't really see that flash in the corner anymore. Granted, it was almost impossible to see before. But still, I do feel like it's connected to that. This sighting is so strange to me. And it really baffled the person. This is another great recording because they captured as long as they could. They had to go, like I said, they pan around to give a good example of the area and get a good reference of the size of this UFO and show that it was stationary and not moving. But that's about it, because then they have to go and, live their regular life. So I appreciate them for even trying and for capturing this sighting for this long. This thing is not even moving, y'all. It is dead still. As you can see, he's going to pan around so we can get a good view. But that thing is dead still. And look at that. That was right above it. I didn't even realize that on my first watch. I'm glad he caught that. I don't know if they noticed that. Like I said, they were just panning around to give reference points. I don't know if they noticed that weird I don't even know if you guys noticed. Let me know in the comments. Such a fascinating sighting. And there's more. Again, there's still 5 months left to 2026, and we've had so many UFOs. Like this, an orb coming out of the sky and then leaving scorched earth behind. They take off with this thing. They're circling it just like the plane, and then they're gonna... Mexico City, January 17th, 2026. The strangest object was caught in the sky, with lights like I've never seen before. People witnessing it are unsure whether this was a craft or some sort of portal or wormhole, just because of its look and general nature. Let me know in the comments what you think this is.
Bueno, a ver si saben qué es eso ahí. No es un plato volador, no es un avión, ¿qué es? A ver, lo arrimamos.
Of all the UFO sightings and strange clips we've featured on this channel, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Las Vegas, Nevada, January 16th, 2026. Witnesses captured, again, what started at first looking like the Phoenix Lights, like these orbs in a line, but then they started moving erratically and changing color, and, well, it was just a really weird all-around sighting. Smash like, take a look. Much like the first clip, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. The way they were dancing around, the colors they were giving off, that is an absolutely stunning UFO sighting. And it doesn't end there, with another clip from Skywatchers Ireland, January 15th, 2026. One of the brightest objects caught yet again by their cameras. This is getting really interesting. Take a look. As I mentioned, it's not just UFO sightings. There's also strange UFO news with UFOs and aliens making headlines. To summarize the articles, the Bank of England is urged to prepare for potential financial crisis triggered by the confirmation of alien life. Former Financial Secretary expert Helen McCall warns that disclosure of non-human intelligence could cause panic or euphoria in financial markets, leading to bank collapses and asset repricing. McCall references the ongoing declassification process in the United States related to unidentified anomalous phenomenon, also known as UAP, formerly known as UFOs. This is major news. These are the heads of banks and financial advisors talking about disclosure possibly coming this year and what that could mean for our finances and for the world at large. We wouldn't be having these conversations if something wasn't already happening. Honestly, if we had this type of conversation just a few years ago, the person writing the article would have been ridiculed. However, I've seen this on Times, I've seen this on the Financial Insider, Business Insider, I saw it on Dexertu, like everyone's talking about this, and it's fascinating and scary. Why would our finances collapse? Like, what is happening? On top of that, there's even more UFO sightings happening this year than ever before. Like, take a look over at India, January 15th, 2026, where this strange object was seen seemingly rotating in the sky. But when you take a closer look, you'll see that it's not just rotating, it's deliberately moving around in different directions. And it makes no sense. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Honestly, it's so strange to me. When I first saw it, I was like, well, it could be a balloon spinning or something caught in the wind. But when I saw how deliberate its movements were and how it was changing the direction of those movements, I'm like, that is I controlled or intelligence. Something is going on with that. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that either. And there's more. Kmart, Texas, January 16th, 2026. Witnesses saw an object in the sky they thought may have been a glowing orb. However, upon pulling out their camera and zooming in, they see that it's actually two objects close together and can't tell whether it's two UFOs or one UFO emitting two lights. Take a look and let me know which one you think it is. I think it's really weird. Personally, I feel like I saw like an energy field around it as it was moving around. Some strange stuff happening in our skies. And these orbs are all over the place. In Southern Oregon, July 1st, 2026, where witnesses captured this strange glint in the sky and posted it on the Enigma app. Now this thing seemed to be moving pretty quickly, at times shimmering and shining, other times it appeared almost jet black or Vanta black. Some of the witnesses said they think it could have been shape-shifting, but when you look through the camera, I feel like it may have just been flashing on and off, or maybe even spinning where one side was brighter than the other. Still very strange, and I love the Enigma app because it sends it to the whole community and to authorities to start analyzing. We then head to a resurfaced clip from Buenos Aires in 2022, where witnesses at a sporting event saw a literal flying saucer in the sky. In shot, everyone started pointing up, pulling out their phones and their cameras, and trying to record whatever this weird object in the sky is. As you can see, especially as they start to zoom in or get different angles, it does appear to be a flying saucer. And even in one detail you notice in one of the images is that it does seem to have weird lights underneath. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. And I love that it's a mass UFO sighting and everyone at the sporting event together, they were like, screw whatever the teams are doing. What the hell is that? While sifting through some of the recently government-released UFO files, I still can't believe that's something I can say, I found this strange clip of what seems like a nearly translucent UFO flying across the sky with our government trying to track it. I find it very interesting that it looks translucent and that it seems to have like that weird tail underneath, and it reminds me of the UFO squid or UFO with tentacles. Do you guys remember when those things were all over the place? Craziness. Next, viewer Joshua Ryan has sent me a UFO clip from his trip to Malaysia. This occurred October 3rd, 2018. While on their incredible trip, they noticed a few minutes in this strange orb appearing in the sky. Seemingly, as we can see from this video, flickering ever brighter and then dimming out at times, almost as if signaling, hey, I'm here. Now this thing clearly wasn't a star from the way that it was behaving and how at times, even from the ground, it would disappear from sight. And keep in mind that low visibility is one of the 5 observables. What were they seeing in their sky? Viewer Clayton has submitted a UFO from Flint, Michigan. And this is a strange orb that appeared in the sky in December of 2025. Now you can see, as they say in the video, it does not look like a plane. Planes tend to blink. This thing is moving eerily and quietly. And it makes me consider the conversations that are being had about sentient or living plasma. Are these sentient thinking plasma balls flying around in the sky? We then jump over to France, July 8th, 2026, where witnesses captured this strange UFO seemingly following right beside a contrail. The shape, the look of the UFO, it's so weird. That's definitely not a plane or a helicopter. It seems to possibly even be 2 lights super close together. I don't know what the hell's happening in this video. That looks crazy. And the fact that it was following a contrail, which some people call chemtrails, with new revelations coming out that make that seem actually more likely. Wild times. Over in Italy, July 5th, 2026, witnesses captured this strange UFO. You're gonna see it fly across the sky. When they first laid eyes on this craft, they started recording because initially they thought, oh my god, look, it's a Tic Tac UFO. They thought it was like a white Tic Tac shape, the traditional Tic Tacs we've been seeing now, or cylindrical UFOs. And you'll see it in the video. As it hovers across the sky, it definitely does look like a Tic Tac shaped UFO. What I find most interesting about this sighting though, and what I love the most, is that we were eventually able to get a better view with a better camera and a better zoom. And when they actually get that better footage out to us, we'll see that this UFO is actually a lot more energy than it is ship. It looks like, again, I'm going to say plasma, or maybe like it has an energy field around it. It is glowing intensely. You're going to see some flickering around it. Again, because of the way that we're zooming, that could be artifacting. However, in recent UFO sightings, we have seen flickering particles or flickering orbs around the craft itself. Now, one thing you do notice is that it seems to be getting dark around the craft. I don't think that's artifacting. I think that's very strange, and that's something we've seen even in the clearest UFO videos. Almost like there is a void around the craft itself. Some people think it's a plasma shield. Some people think it is a distortion created in space-time when these crafts travel. Now, this is what they were seeing with their eyes. Again, it looked like a Tic Tac. They started putting it through filters, and this is what they captured. And this is, I think, phenomenal. And it looks really cool and a little creepy. Next, user Joshua C. Keen sent me a very interesting UFO that seems to show a mothership flying saucer having landed in a farm somewhere. What's very interesting about this video is we don't just get the craft on the ground seemingly have already landed. There's also an alien being, an alien entity that's captured in the video. And at points in the video, we even see crafts showcasing instantaneous acceleration. Now, I find this fascinating. Joshua himself said that this video is pretty old, and once they found it, they sent it to me. They had seen it a while before. And what I find most interesting about it, and the reason that I'm really looking into it, thinking this could be something, is because it actually reminds me of one of the Ivan0135 videos, the person who posted Skinny Bob, who to this day, there is still a huge debate on the accuracy of that and where those videos came from. It seems that one of the 6 channels, well, I know for a fact, one of the 6 videos on his channels showcase a craft just like this landing and an alien coming out right beside it and several beings coming out. What's interesting though is that when I go back to Ivan's channel now, I can't seem to find that exact clip. There's only 4 videos heavily focusing on Skinny Bob himself. I don't know if it was taken down by Ivan, although he doesn't seem to have been on that account in God knows how long, or if there is some sort of censorship going on, but I do remember it looking very similar to that. I find this sighting very interesting as well, because before that orb disappeared, right, you'll notice that it was like a fading. It had like a fading effect to it, and then the light flashed. I feel like usually when you fake those, you're not adding that fading effect. That's not in your thought. You want to add the flash and make it look ooh. So I think that adds credence to that one. The flying saucer video, a little more iffy on, but again, it reminds me of that Ivan0135 video. And now that video is gone. And again, I know there were 6 videos on that channel because it would fill up the home screen when I would go onto it. Now it's just 4, and they're all heavily focused on Skinny Bob. I specifically remember the video with the craft coming down and someone was recording through the hedges and you see them walking on the lawn. Where the hell is that video? Folsom, Louisiana, March 28th, 2026, where witnesses captured a legit flying saucer in the sky. I absolutely love this clip because not only do they watch it with their eyes, not only do they all grab their phones, but they also put the camera right to a telescope to try to get a better view of whatever the hell this was. And honestly, I think they got a hit. Let me know in the comments what you think about this flying saucer UFO.
No way. You think we can get it through the camera?
We can try.
It's gonna be hard.
Here, get in the shade.
So we can see. Come over here. Oh my god. Wait, I need to prop it up on something.
Here, I'll hold this.
Wait, give me a shoulder. Give me a shoulder. Okay. There we go. This is crazy as shit, dude. All right, come on. Oh, I got it. Oh, fuck. It won't focus. Hang on.
Take the autofocus off your camera.
Do you know how to do that?
Nope.
Me neither. I kind of got it. Oh my god, bro.
Or you can go.
All right.
Heading over to Chile, April 6, 2026, witnesses captured another strange object in the sky. At first, they thought it was an orange tic-tac shaped UFO, but when they pulled out the camera and zoomed in, they saw that it seemingly had like a bump on top and on the bottom. So it wasn't exactly a tic-tac, but it was still very strange. There's also this clip I'm a bit iffy on from Tennessee, May 1st, 2026. Witnesses saw this strange cloud formation and started recording, and the cloud allegedly started moving. Then there's this clip from Seattle, May 3rd, 2026, 12:45 a.m. Witness Early Donut saw this strange light in the sky and tried recording it. He said in his naked eye he could see that it was fast, it kept disappearing and reappearing and changing colors. He said it even seemed to have some form of weird plasma effect like it. When he saw the anomalous movements, he started recording immediately. Y'all, if you enjoy this kind of content and want to help out the channel, smash like. It's free and it goes a long way. Things get stranger still with this clear UFO rod over the skies of the United States. This occurred a couple years ago, I want to say 2023, but in this new clip, it's finally stabilized, cleaned up, and upscaled so we get a better look of whatever the heck this object was. This is honestly one of the clearest UFO sightings out there, and I love it. We also have this clip from Argentina, April 5th, 2026, where a UFO researcher came across this strange craft in the sky. What do you think? Things are getting weirder in Area 51, with this alleged clip from May 1st, 2026. This again is another clip that I'm iffy on, and I'm putting it through several programs to see if it was like AI or CGI, because it's very clear. We don't ever get anything this clear, so I'm shook by it, and the way it took off. Still, I'm seeing it being posted everywhere, and I wanted to make sure to share it with you guys. Now, on the more tangible level here on Earth, things are getting stranger, with Dr. Greer actually talking about how the US may shift from a extraterrestrial explanation to the illusion of a holy war where the aliens are demons. He's even blaming J.D. Vance. Take a listen.
Because we pretty much have exposed the falsehood of a fake alien invasion. Now they're going to try to pivot it to it being a holy war between humans and the agents of Satan, et cetera, and so on. So it's a very, very reckless, irresponsible, and dangerous thing that the Vice President of the United States would say that. And I am going to be quite clear with people that he knows who are on my team that cannot be allowed to be repeated. So now it's one thing, Tucker Carlson is saying that. You have a lot of the far-right religious people who don't understand the cosmology and the physics of interstellar travel saying it, and it's a bunch of superstitious claptrap.
And if that wasn't enough, we also got this Jimmy Kimmel interview with Goldie Hawn where she goes over her UFO abduction. And honestly, I want to leave you guys with this because her story is absolutely fascinating. Take a listen.
One thing that a lot of the members of your family seem to have in common is that you've had sightings of unidentified flying objects.
Really? No,
yes?
No. Yeah.
Kurt has.
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
What was your experience?
I was in West Covina dancing. I was a dancer then. I was about 18-ish, and so 19 maybe. And I literally was dancing in Anaheim. I thought that was Hollywood, but I wasn't. And then I was living there in a little apartment, and I went outside and I literally sat there, and I don't know where this came from. I don't know, except I'm always looking for things that I can't see to understand what's going on in the world. I looked up in the sky and I said, I know you're up there, and I know we're not alone, and I want to meet you one day. And that was that. And about 3 months later, I was now dancing in West Covina in the theater in the round, and I got really sleepy. Like, I don't know why. I wasn't out all night. I was just like, somebody gave me a shot of like Valium. And I said, could I go sleep in the back of your car? And I said this to one of my dancer friends, his name was Todd. I lay down in the car. I don't remember anything after that. And I heard a high-pitched sound in my ear, but it was so high frequency, and I was lying in the back of the car. I remember looking at my hand and my body, and I couldn't move anything. I was completely paralyzed. And I looked out the window, 2 people, short, whatever, looking at me with triangular shaped sort of heads, all sort of silver color or whatever, but they were droning, and the window was down because it was hot. And I heard the droning.
Like making a noise?
There was sound coming out of them. It was communication through sound, not through words, and they were pointing at me. So, the next part of this story is many years later. I didn't know what happened to this day. Was it a dream? Was it really happening? But then all of a sudden I just said, I got to get out of here. Whatever. I got to get out. And just, boom! I came through this felt like a force field. And I was just asking people, wonder what that was. I wonder if I really saw anything. In the 1980s, mid-80s, there was a book that came out that was writing about all these different sightings that different people have seen, right? And I thought, okay, I'll look, it's like extraterrestrial or, whatever name the book was. And I read it, and when I read into it, I read that these people that were abducted, they all were paralyzed. And they all had a high-pitched sound in their ear, this high-pitched frequency, but they were paralyzed. That's when I put the book down. I said, this really did happen to me. So now the other thing is this, and I will share this with you because I've shared it one other time. But so a very, very famous man, he's an astrophysicist. He's one of the fathers of the internet. He wrote a lot of the algorithms. I met him. Turns out, he's been studying UFOs for many years, working with the government. And he came to my house. He said, I'm spending the night. He was also coming down to San Diego.
This is getting shaky.
No,
now.
I know. But it's not going there.
Okay.
I told him everything I remembered. It's a long time to remember this stuff. And I remembered, he asked me, what were the mouths like? What was the mouth? Do their ears? Were their thing? Just all these questions. And it almost took me back into something. And I suddenly, he said, what were their fingers like? And I saw their fingers, and I remember these long fingers. Oh my God, I'm gonna get emotional right now. But I do get emotional when I say this. I said, oh my God, I forgot something. They touched my face. And I said it was it was the most benevolent touch I ever had. It was like the finger, I'm sorry to say this because, God, but I said the finger of God. And I got emotional because it was so beautiful, but I had not remembered any of that stuff.
Is it possible that you and your family are aliens from another planet?
Yes, I swear to God.
Sent here
I think that's
to win all of our awards.
I think that's so possible. I mean, I really wonder. Somebody once read my cards or something. Said, you're from the Pleiades. I went, oh, really? Is that outer space? They went, yes, that is.
Pleiades, Pleiades, you name it.
NASA was yet again caught in 4K, as this clip from their live stream is going viral yet again, and it shows 2 strange objects literally materialize out of nowhere and actually approach the space station. These things, as you can see, seem to apparate out of nothingness, seem to be moving in tandem and approach the space station. Yet still, NASA's official explanation for this is that they're just ice particles. Now, excuse me if I'm a little bit daft, but none of my ice does that. Of course, I'm only used to ice in the fridge. But ice doesn't move around like it's intelligent, moving around itself, approaching craft. That doesn't make sense. And now they're just leaving? I'm sorry, but NASA's ice particle explanation is just not enough for me when it comes to a sighting like this. And I want to hear your thoughts on it because honestly, every time I see it, my mind is blown. Then we head over to Mexico, June 12th, 2026, where witnesses on vacation saw this strange anomaly in the sky. This is one of the weirder UFOs in my opinion. You actually see the bigger craft, which some liken to a mothership, and it does seem to be releasing whatever it is that's surrounding it. These other orbs of lights, or strings of lights, because that elongated one almost looks like a tic-tac. It looks like they're all coming out of and or surrounding this bigger craft. And honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a sighting quite like this one. It's truly fascinating. Unlike many UFO sightings, it really makes me wonder, what are these things doing in our skies? Also in Mexico, March 3rd, 2026, from an airplane, witnesses flying over Volcano Popo saw more orbs around the volcano. It's very strange because we're already used to orbs coming in and out of this volcano frequently. We actually see it on the live streams very often. But this time, they were able to pan to the right, and you're going to see a series of other orbs as if they are readying themselves to enter the volcano. Like, again, is this an energy source for them? I don't think I've ever seen this many near a volcano at once. We really need to start considering their energy sources and energy consumption. Of course, for that, the government would have to disclose even more information, so fingers crossed. We stay in Mexico as June 13th, 2026, witnesses saw what they call a flying saucer. However, what's strange about this sighting isn't just the flying saucer flying over the highway casually like it owns the airspace, but it's the fact that there was another little orb following behind it. And we're not quite sure if they were connected, if these are two separate sightings, or what exactly is going on, but that definitely looks like a flying saucer. And now that we're going back up, you can see a particle appear in between the saucer and the orb itself. Now, we often lose some of the camera angle in this video because the person is driving and they're trying to stay alive, but I love, and I feel like it adds credibility, how shocked they are, so much so that while driving, they had to pull out their phone to record whatever the hell is in the sky, because what is that? And the saucers don't stop there. With this alleged clip from January 18th, 2026 in Greenland, where a witness claims to have seen this over the tree line. I would call this a mothership. However, I think it's too short to give it too much credibility, and it's too short to cross-reference or confirm. Still very fascinating, and I want to hear your thoughts on it in the comments below. Over in the United States, June 15th, 2026, witnesses saw what they claim to be a triangular craft seemingly attempting to cloak. And when I see this clip, honestly, I can see it. When they zoom in and I see that it's this triangular shape, it reminds me of some of the recent triangular crafts that we've caught on camera in 4K and in lower resolutions, where you can kind of see them attempting to cloak. And it makes me wonder if this is something that happens when the cloaking mechanism fails, or if maybe it is cloaked but the lenses on the camera is able to capture infrared light or light that our eyes wouldn't be able to capture and actually produce this video for us. Because what on earth is that? I can't think of anything earthly that this could be. What is it even doing in the sky? And it really does look like it's attempting to hide itself, like it's really trying to cloak, which I find fascinating. Now, there is an extended version of that clip that I'll post at the end of the video so you can get the full picture of it. But what I want to dive into is that jet fighter shooting down a UFO, because what? Now, we're checking this out together because apparently it was part of the UFO files that most recently dropped, and well, I don't know how I would have overlooked that, so let's check it out.
For years, UFO stories were treated as conspiracy theories or fiction.
Yeah.
Now the US government is releasing more secret files on them.
Yes.
Last week, the Pentagon published hundreds of records, videos, photographs, and intelligence reports. But one video has taken social media by storm. It shows an American fighter jet shooting down an unknown object over Lake Huron. That is a massive lake between the United States and Canada. But if it...
Really? How old is this? 3 weeks? So it wasn't the most recent one. Did we see a shooting down video?
Officials say they still do not know exactly what that object was. So what is the Pentagon really revealing? Here's a report.
Please.
A blurry
Let us
object
know.
flying over one of North America's largest lakes. An American fighter jet locking onto it midair. Crosshairs fixed on the target, and then suddenly, an explosion.
Oh.
The object breaks apart
What?
in midair. For years, footage like this lived inside classified.
What? I don't. Did this UFO just get
locked
shot?
onto it midair.
This UFO just got shot
Crosshairs fixed on the
and
target.
exploded,
Suddenly, an
and they
explosion.
caught it on camera.
The object breaks apart.
The UFO just exploded. I didn't see that clip. There's even audio to it. What?
In midair. For years, footage like this lived inside classified Pentagon archives. The Pentagon is America's defense ministry. Now the United States.
I'm sorry, but I went through the first batch. Granted, the first batch was 3 hours, and towards the end, I did a little skimming so that we could, make a complete video. But the second batch was not that long. I don't remember seeing a UFO blowing up because we shot it. That's crazy, and we should not be doing that.
Its government is putting those files out in public. And once again, people across the world are asking the same question.
That looks
Are
like
we
the
alone in
saucer
this universe?
we just saw. Is this stock footage or is
The
that a real
Pentagon
clip?
has released a fresh batch
I
of
hate when news
previously
stations do that.
classified UFO records.
Okay,
The US
we know
government
this.
officially calls them unidentified anomalous phenomena, or simply UAPs. The latest release contains 222 files. That includes videos, photographs, audio clips, and intelligence documents. One of the most
I think this is the first batch. But I swear, we've covered these. I don't remember seeing this clip. This clip would have gone viral everywhere.
discussed videos appears to show a US Air Force F-16 fighter jet bringing down an unidentified object over Lake Huron in February 2023. The lake lies between the United States and Canada. It is one of the world's largest freshwater lakes.
Yes, and we'll get into that. I'm gagged, I'm gooped, I'm bamboozled, I'm flabbergasted, I'm shocked, I'm everything that you can think of that is very like that's me right now because that's so crazy. How is this not headline news? What do you mean we blew up a UFO? Bro, where are the remains for that? What is that? Is that similar to the things that we saw in Alaska? Oh my god, there's so much.
According to the Pentagon, the
What
object
is
broke
that?
apart after what officials described as a high-energy event.
What
But
does that
even now,
mean?
authorities have not confirmed what exactly was flying there.
We
And
saw
the
that clip.
uncertainty is exactly why the footage is drawing such enormous attention.
We saw this clip.
This is already the second major UFO disclosure by the Trump administration this month.
So this is batch.
Earlier in May, the Pentagon released another 161 secret
saw that
files
clip?
connected to unexplained sightings.
We saw this clip, which is a spherical
Some of those
orb,
reports
which
date
is
back to
this
the
is
late
obviously stock footage.
1940s.
I don't remember the second batch of UFO files having a US jet fighter shooting a UFO and the UFO exploding on camera. I don't remember that in the UFO files, and even if I don't remember, or maybe I overlooked it, someone else would have seen this. This should be like not just on First Post News. This should be everywhere. That's one of the craziest sightings we've ever had. What do you mean it exploded? We've shot a UFO with a Hellfire missile and nothing happened. What did we do to this one with this high energy event that it blew up? What the hell was that?
Witnesses described glowing green spheres, flying discs, and bright fireballs near military sites in New Mexico.
Interesting. We know
One
this stuff.
report came from a senior American intelligence officer in 2025. He described
Okay.
seeing orange glowing objects during a helicopter mission in the western United States. The lights reportedly moved rapidly near the ground, then formed a triangle pattern in the sky before disappearing completely. Another
Wild because we were just talking about triangular crafts and saw that triangular sighting. And it's like corroboration and maybe we're correct on everything that we're seeing. I just find this like What do you mean we shot it? What do you mean? Can we not shoot UFOs? Can we at least do some type of investigation first and make sure, like, maybe if we approach it and it looks
Another
like it's
released clip appeared to
an
show
adversary,
unidentified
sure, but
objects near waters close to Iran in 2022. There were also
that's
files linked
fascinating.
to sightings in Kazakhstan and
We saw
recordings
clips
from
of this.
astronauts during early American space
I don't think we
missions.
saw them all merge, though.
For decades, UFO stories mostly lived in conspiracy theories, late-night documentaries, and Hollywood movies. Now governments themselves are discussing them publicly. Military pilots are filing encounter reports, lawmakers are demanding investigations, and defense agencies are releasing footage once kept hidden from public view. The Pentagon says
I love that we get the footage of all the camera angles. I love that we get the infrared and radar information as well. I wish that for the infrared and all the black and white videos, we also got the raw footage of what it would have looked like on camera, even if we couldn't see anything there, just so that we can get the comparison. And so that if we could see something, we could actually make out or discern the actual shape of these objects, or what they look like, or maybe even the material that they're made out of.
the disclosures are part of a transparency campaign ordered by President Donald Trump. The official American UFO Archive website has already received more than 1 billion views worldwide. That shows how deeply the subject fascinates people. At the same time, US officials are urging caution. They say the files do not prove alien life exists. Many sightings may still involve balloons, secret surveillance systems, experimental aircrafts, or camera errors.
Experimental aircrafts, sure. I definitely respect that. I get that. I feel like it could be. If our government can't differentiate between a balloon and a UFO, though, we are just not as advanced as we think we are. Because what do you mean some of them are still balloons? Hello? It's 2026. What do you mean we can't tell if it's a balloon? Oh.
But several cases still remain unexplained, and that uncertainty continues to fuel public curiosity. Because whether these objects are advanced technology, misunderstood phenomena, or something far more extraordinary, the mystery is no longer locked away inside secret government walls.
Honestly, I find that equal parts fascinating and equal parts strange. Some of it was a little bit of a rehash of some of the files that dropped, but that beginning sequence, and I'm talking about the fighter jet shooting on the UFO and actually showing the explosion, I find that fascinating, and I don't think we had seen that before, even when we covered the second batch of UFO files dropping. That would have been the title of the video. That would have been all we were talking about, because that's bananas. Now, I do want to close out with a little bit of an extended clip from the June 15th event in the United States. Again, where we're seeing this triangular-shaped craft, seemingly, possibly even cloaking. And I want to bring this back because there's a little bit more of the clip that we saw earlier. This is as they zoomed in a little more, or tried to. As you can see, it's getting very blurry with their digital zoom, and it's not an optical zoom for their camera. But I think it's very interesting that at the end of that news story, we were talking about these triangular crafts and these delta formations and possibly even cloaking, and we're seeing stuff like this triangular craft in particular, where it looks like it's cloaking, more and more often. Remember, that's not the first sighting that we've seen like that, and it likely won't be the last. So if you want to see more of those, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. Downtown New York City, June 28th, 2026, where a witness noticed this strange orb of light appear in the sky, and they started recording immediately after they checked their Skyview app and Skyguide app and saw that it's not a star, it's not a satellite. They checked with local authorities and apps to see what planes are flying around. There should have been no planes or anything in the air, except for that one that hovered above it for just a second, flew by. So what is this? It left the person absolutely shocked, because it's already hard to see things in New York City because of the light pollution. But they said this thing was clear as day. It was so bright that it actually caught their attention through the window for them to even start recording in the first place. One thing I do notice about this UFO that we've noticed about other anomalies are the colors flashing in it. They're very different. We get quick flashes of pinks and greens and blues and yellows. and just colors that aren't FAA, like red and green lights. So what is that? What is in our skies? Stranger still is this resurfaced clip from LAX, December 18th, 2024, where witnesses actually captured a strange triangular craft over the airport. And this is, I brightened it just a little bit so we can get more of that lighting, but this is a clear triangular shaped craft. It doesn't look like three lights in Delta formation. It looks like one craft until this happens. The lights seemingly start separating and a new flashing red light appears between them. And even though that's above an airport, still no explanation. It's absolutely wild, and that lines up with the time we were seeing the weird events in New Jersey. What's more interesting is that it actually reminds me of a recent sighting in Brazil, June 27th, 2026, where they captured this strange craft. As they start zooming in, at first I thought it may be a triangular craft, but the closer they get, the weirder the sighting gets. What even is that? What's that weird nebulous thing holding all of those lights? And what are all of those lights doing? I've never seen anything like that. It looked like maybe there was a cloaking mechanism fail there. Then another resurfaced clip from September 11th, 2009, where Luna Cognita uploaded this wild UFO raw footage. And it is very, very interesting what they captured. What I love about this clip is that it's older, so we're going to rule out AI. Although there is still CGI and various effects you could use, this seems authentic to me. There's a little bit about it. You see how it just disappeared there? Luna Cognita actually did some great analyzation. They reduced shake. They get coloring in as well a little bit later in the video, and you'll find something very peculiar. Before this thing vanishes, and you can barely see it here, but you can kind of make it out, you'll notice that there are about 3 or 4 little orbs around the craft, seemingly spinning around, or I mean, honestly, I don't know what they're doing. Again, this one has a little more contrast, so you'll be able to see those other little orbs better. They'll appear darker in here. The reason I'm pointing it out, and look at it, there they go right there, and I find it so fascinating, is that these 3 orbs surround this thing and rotate around it before it vanishes, very much akin to the MH370 flight from Malaysia that vanished. You guys remember that video where the 3 orbs appeared around the plane and then zap, they were gone? That's kind of like what this looks like. Only instead of a plane, it adds another level of mystery. This is a strange or anomalous craft in and of itself. As you saw there, it kind of looked like they jumped upward. They didn't just vanish. They went up so quickly that it's barely noticeable, but you can really see it in the contrasty video. Sorry to just cut off there. I feel like that adds credence to this as well, because if it were an effect, you'd be able to see it all the time, not just through filtration and coloration. So I find that fascinating. But back to what I was saying is that it's not an airplane disappearing like MH370. It's an anomalous craft. And in my opinion, when it comes back on the screen, guys, take a look. Let me know in the comments below. It looks like the jellyfish UFO that used to always go viral that we've seen so many of now. Look, we get a really clear shot of those strange orbs before they take off with this thing. They're circling it just like the plane. And then they're gonna, there it goes. You see how it went up? You see how now we get a stabilized shot with better contrast and zoomed in. You see that this thing actually takes off at absurd speeds. It doesn't just vanish. And again, this isn't something, look, there you go. This isn't something you could just see in the regular video. Luna had to actually really go in here and enhance this video and add the contrast and slow it down in order for you to actually see that happening. And again, I feel that that adds a lot of credence to the video, and I think it's absolutely wild. And if those orbs made that craft disappear or took it away, they took the plane away, could it be that those little orbs were a completely different species or different entity altogether than whatever the original craft was, and they were like, no fly zone, bye? Because that's what it looked like, And we still don't have answers about MH370, so I don't even know what to think about this. And there's more, as LuckyJ151 posted in the UFO subreddit that they actually captured something very anomalous in 2025 and they shared video. An orb coming out of the sky and then leaving scorched earth behind. Their video does have full commentary, so I want you guys to smash like, let me know what you think in the comments below, and enjoy.
So, you can see the road I drove down right up there. That's the plateau we're on. I'm standing where we saw the light. It's the burn circle. This is where a craft landed before. However, when I was here just a month ago, it was fully grown. There was plants everywhere. And as of today, when we saw the light again, it looks totally different. So this is the tree that was burned to the ground. Originally, the first time. It's 6 feet across. And if a fire did this, I don't understand how it didn't burn the tree immediately next to it. So the burn circle actually does look different than the last time I was here. So the last time I was here, all that nightshade over there was growing in the circle. That wasn't that long ago. Something has once again disturbed the ground in this odd location, and it's full of charcoal bits. It turned that whole tree into chunks of charcoal. Any pieces of the tree that were left were blown out to the perimeter of the circle. This might be a common landing site. And so it could be the craft last night was smaller. That cat's claw is still there. It didn't destroy that, but it knocked out everything in this area. This is so weird.
Very intriguing, and I would love to see more. My only thing is I want them to test, like take a car to that part of the road, put the headlights on. I want to see what the headlights look like from that angle. Maybe it was an illusion. That light may have not been what they thought it was, but it did leave some scorched earth, so that leaves me asking questions. Absolutely fascinating. And honestly, whether the government moves slowly or quickly, I wish they would move quickly. All of these witnesses, all of these sightings, all of this evidence does make me much more excited for UFO disclosure, and I can't wait till we have all of the information. And I can't wait for the coming 5 months till we get more evidence, more sightings, more footage from people like you and me every day outside looking up like, what the hell is that? Guys, this was so fun and so cool and intriguing. Let me know in the comments below, which is your favorite UFO sighting? What do you think about these things? If you made it this far and you enjoyed yourself, smash like. I'll see you in the next one.